tingling, the stabbing and shooting pains, the numbness, the burning. Has life with diabetes become a pain? If you're suffering from pain in your feet, known as diabetic neuropathy, we invite you to learn more about the Rhapsody Study. Talk to your doctor or visit rhapsodystudy.com.
Every Wednesday, Bravo brings back its original recipe.
Welcome to Top Chef.
And look who's a judge this season.
I don't get a lot of the ginger in the cherries.
It's a little abrupt to get the feedback right away.
This is Top Chef, and I didn't come here to toss salad.
Top Chef is supersized.
I'd gladly eat a lot more of it.
Wednesday, October 15th at 10, 9 Central. Only by Bravo.
Brought to you by the South Florida Mercedes-Benz dealers, featuring the Mercedes-Benz 2015 GLA and Mercedes-Benz 2015 C-Class, or go to mbsouthflorida.com.
All items are shipped to you for just $2 flat. NoMoreRack.com. Everything you love for less.
The wildest weather ever caught on camera.
Oh my God!
Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight. Wild weather at 8 on the Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by LL Bean. 100% satisfaction guaranteed and free shipping every day.
Making jackets that are built to perform anywhere is hard work. And at LL Bean, we take our job very seriously. Guaranteed quality, no matter what you're up against. From LL Bean.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 80%. Wednesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 84. Chance of rain 60%. Wednesday night, variable clouds with showers and scattered thunderstorms. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is Weather Center Live. Remnants of Gonzalo affecting air travel in Europe. Some very strong wind made it difficult for planes to land in Manchester, England. We're here in the lab with hurricane specialist Michael Lowry looking at this video. Ooh.
Yeah, when you get 30+ mile per hour crosswinds, that makes a really shaky landing, clearly.
Or you have to bail and not land.
Well, right, yeah, and I do suspect they closed the airport at some point here. I heard that 110 flights had to be canceled into Heathrow, which is kind of south of Manchester there, and 10,000 passengers being affected there. So big deal in the UK.
That's right. It is time for the tropical update, and then we're going to get back to the top 5 October hurricane countdown. But again, Gonzalo starting here and now affecting England,
Hard
the UK.
To believe, right. There's a big ridge of high pressure that sits across the Atlantic Ocean. This one basically rounded that big bubble of high pressure, moved right over Bermuda as a Category 2 hurricane on Friday. And then look how quickly, Chris, just getting wrapped up in a big storm over the North Atlantic, and that's what really brought all that weather to parts of Great Britain over the past 24, 48 hours.
And it's amazing how it can do that.
Yeah, and now bringing snowfall to the French Alps. So, yeah. It's one of those things. Even though we call them remnants, they still have impacts down the road.
Sure.
It wasn't a hurricane. It wasn't a purely tropical system, but
it was still packing a punch of some rain and some wind.
Injected enough energy into that Atlantic storm. This is what else is going on in the tropics. We have Ana, that's moving away from Hawaii. We have 92L. That's really nothing for us to worry about here in the United States. But this one here, Invest 93L, this area of low pressure in the Gulf. The Hurricane Center is still giving it a 50-50 chance of development, Chris. if development's going to happen, it needs to do it in the next 24 to 48 hours when it's in the Bay of Campeche. Once it gets over the Yucatan Peninsula here, development odds really come down quite a bit because it's not able to tap into that Gulf water. And then once it gets into the western Gulf of Western Caribbean, it's going to get tangled up with a frontal boundary. So development next 24, 48 hours, but this week could bring some rainfall to Florida Thursday into Friday.
We still have to pay attention in October. With that, we continue our top 5 October hurricanes with senior hurricane specialist Brian Norcross.
Coming in third on our top 5 list is the most recent Category 3 to hit the U.S. This was Hurricane Wilma at its peak Category 5 strength with the lowest pressure ever measured in a hurricane. A weaker version plowed through southeast Florida on October 24th, 2005, ripping open buildings from Miami to the Palm Beaches. Wilma was the third most expensive hurricane on record at the time, capping that incredible hurricane season of 2005. And the 9 years since Wilma is the longest stretch in our modern record without a Category 3 or above hurricane hitting the U.S. And I'll be back with number 2 shortly.
Thank you, Brian. And Michael Lowry is back. We looked at the number 2 now, or the number 3. Oh, there's 4, then 3. That was number 3.
That was number 3.
And now we're looking at, again, Wilma, what stands out in your mind?
I remember I worked for Florida Emergency Management, Division of Emergency Management, their state emergency operations center at the time. We had a lot of hurricanes hit Florida in 2004 and 2005. This one, though, I remember causing the most damage in terms of what we had expected it to cause. Power was out for weeks down here in South Florida. It was a big deal for residents down there and something that they hadn't seen in a very long time. And now 9 years, Chris, 3,287 days.
And isn't a big danger with this, the complacency?
Yeah, it is.
You forget.
Between hurricane landfalls, between big hurricane landfalls like that, you really do forget how devastating, how impactful they can be. This was a Category 3 hurricane. It wasn't a Category 5 hurricane. It doesn't take an Andrew. And this coming from the west side, a little different track than what we're used to. Normally storms come from the east part through the Atlantic, not through the Gulf of Mexico.
All right, Michael Lowry, thank you very much. And if you were with us last night, you saw this video. We're going to break down, which for some people went from kind of some awe to panic in a matter of minutes with expert analysis next.
You drop 40 grand on a new set of wheels, then wham, a minivan T-bones you. Guess what? Your insurance company will only give you $37,000 to replace it. Depreciation, they claim. How can my car depreciate before its first oil change, you ask? Maybe the better question is, why do you have that insurance company?
With Liberty Mutual New Car Replacement, we'll replace the full value of your car. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
Here at High Acres, we always say, life is better on the farm. And that's because we love what we do, which is growing the best tasting fruit available. After months of nurturing, our orchards are bursting with crispy, delicious apples. And we can't wait for you to taste them. That's why we work with Walmart. They help us deliver some of the freshest apples available, backed by their 100% money-back guarantee.
Picked by farmers, guaranteed by us.
Man, these boneless chicken wings are great.
Yeah, I know, and I finally found myself a wingman.
You're going to use the wing as your wingman?
Yeah, for the ladies.
How is that going to help you at all?
It's going to make me irresistible.
Oh, right. Yeah, going to give you that certain je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais what?
Jenna.
Did she mention me by name, or was it just kind of like, was she just talking in general?
I said je ne sais quoi.
I know, but what did she say?
Be a wingman with new all-white meat boneless chicken wings in 3 flavors and save room for creamy cheesecake bites. This is how you Sonic.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
From restoring damage in just one room to an entire building. Turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
While we may never know exactly what the weather has in store, one thing we do know is how to be ready for it. Rain-X Original Treatment repels rain, sleet, and snow. Rain-X wiper blades clear the windshield without streaking. Together, they give you the confidence to weather any kind of weather. Rain-X, outsmart the elements.
This week on the Weather Channel, a strengthening nor'easter brings potentially heavy rain, strong winds, and coastal flooding to millions. And are we looking at Hannah developing in the Gulf? Could a new tropical system make landfall in the U.S.? Tune in to Wake Up with Al at AMHQ with Sam Champion. Live team coverage starting at 5:30 on the Weather Channel mornings.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 80%. Wednesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 84. Chance of rain 60%. Wednesday night, variable clouds with showers and scattered thunderstorms, low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Camera. Oh my God. Tonight, tomorrow night, every weeknight, wild weather at 8. Coming up next.
Right now on Weather Center Live, watching the Gulf of Mexico tonight. This area right here highlighted for the possibility of development. Tonight, what this means for Florida and the Gulf Coast. And we've seen dangerous hurricanes in October, so we do need to pay attention. One of them was this storm, Opal. Tonight, we're counting down the top 5 October hurricanes. It is the bottom of the hour. This is the 7 Eastern edition of Weather Center Live. I'm Chris Warren. I'm alongside hurricane specialist Michael Lowry. And we have already seen, Michael, a lot of rain in Florida, and there is that tropical connection.
Yeah, Chris, 9.13 inches of rain reported today in West Palm Beach from moisture loosely associated with this disturbance in the Gulf. Look at these cars trying to get through the floodwaters there. Obviously not a smart move.
It looks like it starts floating, doesn't it?
Doesn't take a whole lot. Just takes a few inches of water to float a car, especially moving water like that. And it's always surprising to me when you see people think that they can get through water. You know, I don't care how forceful you drive into these things. It's when they get to a certain depth, it's, you know, good luck.
All right, so we talk a little bit more, Michael, about what happened here in Florida and then what we're looking at in the Gulf of Mexico.
Well, as I was saying, you can trace all of that moisture, the rainfall down to the Florida Straits and impacting Cuba. This is all very high, mid-level, high-level moisture that's streaming very quickly from west to east, originating from the Gulf of Mexico, from our invest, this area of low pressure that's tucked away down here, the southernmost part of the Gulf of Mexico, in a part of the waters we call the Bay of Campeche. 50% chance of development, a 50-50 chance that this turns into a depression or a named storm. Chris, the waters down there, I mean, look, it's October. You may think the atmosphere is cooling down, but the waters take some time to cool down. So you're still dealing with near 90-degree Gulf waters down here just to the north of Mexico.
And those storms really fuel off that very warm water. So that's why it's important for that water to cool down to bring the threat down. So when it's still hot.
Exactly. And the hurricane hunters, they went down there earlier, and what they found, Chris, was a little surprising to me, is they found very low pressures in a very well-defined area of low pressure, a very well-defined area of spin.
Why was that surprising to you?
It was surprising because when you look at it on a satellite, it just doesn't scream out at you that the winds are turning that sharply. It looks like still a broad area of low pressure. When you get a sharp turning of the winds, what you have is convergence at the low levels. You have winds that come together, and that forces all all of that warm, moist air from the Gulf waters up into the atmosphere, and that's what fuels the convection in the thunderstorms.
Okay, you just have a hard time believing based on what you're seeing.
Yeah, but the Hurricane Hunter is confirming that 1,000 millibar pressure is very, very low. But here's what it's dealing with: as you look to the north, and you can see these clouds that are just screaming again from left to right on your screen. Very strong winds at the mid to upper part of the atmosphere, and those are basically taking all of the thunderstorms that try to develop over the low pressure system and moving them to the east. So it's not allowing the thunderstorms to build up right over that low pressure center, and that's a big deal because without the thunderstorms right over it, it's going to have a hard time developing. If it's going to develop, as I said, it needs to do it over here, because once it crosses the Yucatan Peninsula and gets into the Western Caribbean, it's going to get mixed up within this frontal boundary, and at that point, development odds go down to basically nothing.
But still, it's going to be close enough that you have to have a heads up in Florida, right?
Yeah,
for more rain.
We've been saying that's going to lead to a soggy Thursday and Friday there. Hopefully this front goes far enough south by Saturday to kind of dry things out across the southernmost part of the peninsula.
All right, Michael, thank you. We stay in Florida as we continue our countdown of the top October hurricanes. Senior Hurricane Specialist Brian Norcross looks back at a Miami disaster more than a half-century ago.
The number 2 hurricane on our list is a largely forgotten storm because it was more like a big tornado than a Category 4 buzzsaw. So here we go with number 2 on our list of the top 5 October hurricanes. In mid-October of 1950, a Caribbean hurricane moved over Cuba and toward Florida. It exploded into a mini monster and plowed through Miami with an eye only about 3 miles wide and winds estimated at 130 miles per hour. Damage was extensive in the parts of Miami and Fort Lauderdale that the micro-hurricane hit. Hurricane King was the last Category 3 or above hurricane where the worst of it hit downtown Miami 64 years ago. Stay tuned. The number 1 October hurricane is coming up.
Brian, thank you. So what stands out in your mind when you look at that, the small hurricane?
Yeah, obviously, as Brian was saying, if you, for those of you who remember Hurricane Charlie in 2004, how that hit southwest Florida, it didn't impact Tampa because it was such a small storm. And this sort of similar situation here in Miami, 3 mile wide eye, that is incredibly, incredibly small. As Brian was saying, more like a big tornado, and you didn't necessarily have the storm surge or the water impacts, more the wind impacts right along this track. And King, interestingly enough, Chris, by the way, we named storms after the phonetic Navy alphabet back then. So Abel, Baker, Charlie, King was on that list. It wasn't until the mid-50s where we actually started putting people's individual names in hurricane lists.
And we're counting down the top 5 October hurricanes, and we saw some heavy rain in Florida, and you can see right here, based on this, the tracks of 3 of them.
Yeah.
Right over Florida.
Well, interesting, too, is that Florida actually sees more hurricane landfalls in October than any other month of the year, at least Miami area in South Florida.
All right, Hurricane Specialist Michael Lowry, thank you. We'll have the rest of the countdown coming up. Right now, I want to show you what happened today north of Toms River. This is in New Jersey. You can hear it. That's hail coming down. This is a look at some of that hail right here and the rain that comes with it oftentimes here in Brick, New Jersey. Pouring down rain and the hail. Doesn't look real big. Take a look. Yeah, just a little bit of small hail, but a lot of it coming down. Let's look live, though, in Portland, Maine, because from Brick, New Jersey, all the way to Portland, Maine, and beyond, there will be some stormy weather, some nasty, soggy, sometimes windy weather. For the latest on that, let's go to meteorologist Kim Cunningham. Hi, Kim.
Hey, Chris. And you know what we're going to see over the next 48 hours, just remember this: flooding, wind, like you said, Chris, but also travel headaches this nor'easter is going to cause for us. So those of you traveling the Northeast and New England, just be prepared for airport delays. We're already seeing them here at Logan. So here's the flooding potential. The flood watch in effect for most of Maine. Coastal areas, we've got coastal flooding as a concern in this area as well. This is where we're going to take the brunt of the moisture right into Maine with those southeast winds to northeast winds. We're going to see some very heavy rainfall amounts, possibly 3 to 5 inches in some areas. And in some cases, it's kind of a good thing. We need the rain. We don't need the flooding, but we could use the rainfall. It's all because this big upper level disturbance that is swinging through the jet stream right now, rounding the bend of the trough, that will eventually develop this low that's trying to develop now just off the coast, our nor'easter. So we're going to see the showers increase, where right now we have some scattered showers around the area. And with the cold air aloft, you put that cold air aloft over the relatively warmer surface temperatures, and it gets unstable, and you can get maybe a few isolated thunderstorms like we're seeing here around New York City right now, and maybe a little bit of hail with some of these storms. Not severe threat, though. Just small, if anything at all. D.C. to Baltimore, showers coming through as we speak. Again, if you're north of that jet stream, you're going to be in the cooler air. You're going to be in the showers over the next 48 hours. There's the low tracking northeast. We get in those northeast winds, maybe some beach erosion as well. It's not going to be here for a long, long period of time. For a couple days, we're going to see it, and we're going to see those winds gusting maybe to 30 miles per hour in some areas. And that will cause some airport delays for sure. So expect rain, heaviest here into eastern parts of New England, and we're going to see thunderstorms maybe even in the Boston area on Thursday, and then Friday winding down. The good news, Chris, the weekend looks fantastic here. So get through the next couple of days. Looks like a good weekend for us.
All right, Kim, thank you very much. And we want to show you some video right now to show you what a small area of wind can do. Picking up this slide and tossing it. Next on Weather Center Live, severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes will explain what happened here and what went wrong. Also, feeling some warmth in the plains right into the weekend. The jet stream is going to head to the north, and things are going to be feeling pretty nice for you. About 10 to 20 degrees warmer than average. Nice time to go out and check some fall color.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 80%. Wednesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 84. Chance of rain 60%. Wednesday night, variable clouds with showers and scattered thunderstorms, low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
It's Monday, a brand new start with CenturyLink's visionary cloud infrastructure and custom communication solutions. Your business is more reliable, secure, and agile. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
It's raining. Americans drink over 13 billion gallons of sugary beverages every year. Overconsumption may link to obesity and heart disease. It's an epidemic. But we can help change it with a better choice. Drink more water, filtered by Brita. Clean, refreshing Brita water. Nothing is better. Now enjoy Brita filtered water anywhere with on-the-go bottles.
Get up to 20% off and 1,000 rewards points at bestwestern.com with a swipe, a tap, or a click. Get up to 20% off and enjoy breakfast, free high-speed internet, and 1,000 rewards points. Only at bestwestern.com.
Discover Card. Hey, I heard you guys can help me with fraud protection.
Yeah, we help with fraud protection. We monitor every purchase every day and alert you if anything looks unusual.
Wow. You're really looking out for us.
We are. And if there are unauthorized purchases on your Discover Card, you're never held responsible.
Just to be clear, you are saying frog protection, right?
Yeah, fraud protection.
Frog protection.
Fraud protection.
Frog.
Fraud.
Frog.
Fraud.
I think we're on the same page.
We're totally on the same page.
At Discover, we treat you like you'd treat you. Fraud protection. Get it at discover.com.
Let's take these piggies out for new carpet. No, not those. These. Let's get in touch with texture. Something with a twist. Let's look at loops and get a feel for patterns in all sorts of colors. But let's not break the bank. Then, let's get it rolled out right. The perfect carpet? Yeah. Let's bring it all the way home. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Schedule a measure today. Carpet installation is now just $37.
This is Gordon. Downtown for a sales call. West Side for a presentation. Meeting after meeting after meeting.
That's why Gordon stops at Exxon and Mobil for fuels that help his engine run cleaner, smoother, and with better fuel economy. So he can make it to the meeting that matters most. Gordon is energy. Exxon and Mobil. Energy lives here.
We put all the apps you love inside a car designed to connect you to a world of possibilities. The Connected Car by Volvo. Innovating for you.
Apples are good. A Strongbow hard cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow motion horse, the bestest. Strongbow, world's #1 hard cider.
I like to mix things up a bit with Grand's Mini Pot Pies. Only 4 ingredients and a few easy steps. Weeknight dinner in a flash, and my family devours them. Pillsbury Grand's biscuits make dinner pop.
My family, we're close. Sometimes too close, which means we're always getting into each other's hair. That's why we use Head & Shoulders. Keeps us 100% flake-free and smells gorgeous. I use it. My whole world uses it. Head & Shoulders now smells better than ever.
This is Weather Center Live, and throughout the course of the hour, we've been counting down the top 5 October hurricanes. We want to show you the tracks that the numbers 5 through 2 have taken here, and you can see going through all of these, at least touching Florida. Opal, Tampa Bay, Wilma, and King. And we want to show you also some pictures with this. Hurricane Opal hit the Florida Panhandle in 95. The number 4-1 was in 1921, the hurricane in Tampa Bay. And then number 3, Wilma, which hit Mexico, Cuba, and Florida. That was in 2005. And number 2, Hurricane King, hit Miami in 1950. Hurricanes can and do happen in October. Kim Cunningham and Michael Lowry are here, hurricane specialists, meteorologists here. Which ones stand out in your mind when you look at that? And you remember some personal memories too.
Did. Not the 1951, but definitely Opal. And you know what's amazing about Opal too is that Opal, after landfall, maintained hurricane strength for a long time as it moved through the southeast, downing thousands of trees. And I was actually in Destin like a day or two before it made landfall, and there was huge waves. Got back to the Weather Channel for landfall, and that night driving home in Atlanta, Opal off to the west, cruising through Alabama, downing trees, transformers blowing, 70-mile-an-hour winds, just an amazing, amazing hurricane. So that was my memory of Opal.
It's been a long time since we've even seen a hurricane like Opal.
Oh, that's
in this
true.
Country.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the one I remember is most recent one's Wilma. I remember going into work that night and looking at it. This was before it got to Florida, but how it became the strongest hurricane in the Atlantic Ocean, and just watching it intensify so quickly. Had a little pinhole eye at the time. It was in the Caribbean, but then that eye got huge as it was moving toward Florida, bringing those Category 2 or 3 winds. This is, Category 2, 3 strength winds, obviously causing a lot of damage down there across the southern Florida peninsula.
All right, Michael Lowry, Kim Cunningham, thank you very much. And coming up, the number 1 October hurricane on record with statistics that make it the obvious choice. However, it might not be the one many people are thinking about right now. That's coming up a little bit later.
As you see, dust devils can cause some damage. This was a relatively strong one. Here is the dust devil right here. You see it's picking up dust that's being pulled in from right to left into the dust devil, and then it rises up. Let's roll that video, and you'll see the dust devil moving toward the left. Now, what you can also see is that this is rotating counterclockwise. Now, this is kind of the wrong direction for the southern hemisphere. Most tornadoes rotate clockwise there because it is in the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, most of them rotate counterclockwise. This one is rotating very very strongly. Inflow coming in a shallow layer and then rising upward, of course, spinning counterclockwise, as I say. People are watching it pretty close. It's beginning to move off toward the left. There, it's had enough wind in it that it's broken over this small tree. So dust devils can cause damage. As we continue to roll along, you'll see that it's picking up all sorts of papers, tossing those around, and then it begins to pick up even some bigger things. There it's coming across a roadway, and as you'll see here, it begins to pick up this part of this trampoline, tosses it about. The upward motions within the dust devil pick it up and then swirl it around counterclockwise, toss it over as it carries it off toward the left there. And we have then some additional video that shows that this dust devil also picked up a bounce house. There goes the bounce house. It's picked it up in the air with its upward motion, levitates it up maybe 50 or so feet high. And unfortunately, there was a person that was inside, a child that was inside this bounce house that actually falls out. We'll pause the video there once it does one pirouette here and bounces up across the tree, and you'll see that a child actually, here it comes, you'll see it. The child's over in this corner, and the child falls out. The child was fortunately unhurt. So dust devils, they can have winds that are over 50 miles per hour. Maybe the strongest ones might approach 100 miles per hour, and even over land in the United States. We've had some reports of them doing some damage. Back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Forbes. And the tropics remain active. Tropical storm Ana moving away from the Hawaiian Islands and in the Gulf of Mexico. This right here, we are tracking a disturbance that may threaten South Florida with heavy rain. Already some of that moisture sneaking into South Florida. We're going to time that out for you and take a look at the chances that this could develop into something else. That's coming up next in your Tropical Update.
There are cohabitants, and with that comes compromise. We give them a little extra space, accommodate their schedules, and sometimes we have to forgive. But when it comes to their nutrition, we never compromise. It's why at Petco, we're proud to offer Merrick, a leader in grain-free pet food made from regionally sourced ingredients in Merrick's own Texas kitchen to ensure the highest quality. Because for our best companions, only the best will do. Petco, the power of together.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 80%. Wednesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 84. Chance of rain 60%. Wednesday night, variable clouds with showers and scattered thunderstorms. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
That looks terrible.
Hey there! Gorilla Clear Repair.
Of course.
Gorilla Clear Repair provides a high-tack adhesive with durable, weather-resistant backing that conforms for a crystal clear fix.
Good work, hon. While you were fixing the grill, I repaired my book, your phone screen, the car taillight, and the kids' inflatable jump house.
Nice.
Gorilla Clear Repair for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
When we say the all-new Chrysler 200 is all new, we mean it. We used the latest tools and built a new state-of-the-art manufacturing plant. We gave it new smart technology. We challenged conventional thinking with a more intuitive design. And we set new expectations.
Take any client when you accept credit cards with Square.
There's one low rate for every card. And you see money in your bank account as fast as the next business day. Schedule appointments, send text reminders, and learn how to keep clients coming back with real-time sales reports. Take care of your business with Square. Get started for free at square.com.
If you want to get even closer to the NFL, you need NFL Network on Xfinity from Comcast. You'll get 24/7 news and analysis in all 16 regular season Thursday night football games. NFL Network is your all-access pass to all the excitement of the NFL all year long. Get NFL Network and over 80 additional channels when you upgrade to Digital Preferred TV for a great low price. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
Looking for a new breed of broker? There's a name for people like you. Trade King. Switch today.
7 a.m. on AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
For the last hour, hurricane specialist Michael Lowry and myself have been counting down the top October hurricanes with senior hurricane specialist Brian Norcross. And here he is to reveal number one and also explain why another disastrous storm did not even make the list.
This storm was the strongest hurricane ever so far north and produced the strongest winds ever recorded at the Battery in New York City. I bet you're thinking Hurricane Sandy, but it's not. Hurricane Hazel decimated nearly 200 miles of the North and South Carolina coastline. And to this day, it's the benchmark storm for North Carolina. Winds gusted to 100 miles per hour or more from Virginia to New York, knocking out power for millions. So one of the great storms of the 20th century, Hurricane Hazel, is our number one October hurricane from 60 years ago this month. But what about our most recent October monster, Superstorm Sandy? More than 1,000 miles across, Sandy pushed record storm surge against the Northeast coast 2 years ago and did more than $60 billion in damage, the second highest total of any storm in history. But Sandy technically was not a hurricane at landfall. It had morphed into more of a nor'easter. So technically, Sandy does not make our list. So Hurricane Hazel from 1954 is the number one October hurricane. I'm senior hurricane specialist Brian Norcross.
Brian, thank you for that. And once again, hurricane specialist Michael Lowry is here, and here are the other four.
And let's go ahead and show you that track for Hazel. As Brian was saying, moving through the Carolinas, just a tremendous impact, and not just the wind, obviously, but the storm surge and the waves into parts of the lower Chesapeake Bay and across the Outer Banks there of North Carolina.
100?
Yeah, I mean, a Category 4 hurricane. It's not very often that you see that, especially during the month of October, sort of on the tail end of the hurricane season, the middle of October for that matter.
Anything else that sticks out in your mind with this storm?
I was telling you, it's sort of an interesting story. Is the first director, unofficial director of the National Hurricane Center, before it was the National Hurricane Center, it was part of the Weather Bureau in Miami. His name was Grady Norton, and he was their chief forecaster down there. And he was forecasting this storm and actually passed away during one of his shifts in the middle of forecasting this storm. Sort of an interesting historical note for us and hurricane enthusiasts.
Yeah, that is interesting. And it's also a big reminder here with this top 5 October hurricanes that not only can they happen in October, they can be monsters.
Yes, absolutely they can. I mean, how many big monster hurricanes, not just ones that hit the U.S., but I think back to Hurricane Mitch in 1998. That was a Category 5 hurricane that moved into Central America. 10,000 people died down there because of Hurricane Mitch. I'm telling you, we've seen some really strong hurricanes in October. Thankfully, so far, we haven't had any this hurricane season.
And so the next question is, what are you watching right now?
On?
And it is in the Gulf of Mexico.
It's down here, tucked away in the southernmost part of the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see there was a spin here to these clouds, but not a lot of thunderstorms with them, Chris. We look for those clustering of storms. Most of the storms are well away from the center of the circulation, which is down here. There was a plane down there, a Hurricane Hunter plane, that flew down from Biloxi earlier today, and they've been sampling the information and sampling those clouds and the wind movement and finding the low pressures, but just not finding the thunderstorms. That's the good part of this, and it's moving toward the west. It's moving toward the Yucatan Peninsula, toward land. So tomorrow it'll be there, and that should help to limit its potential development.
And that would be a good thing if we don't want to see a storm develop. However, still potential impacts, though.
Sure, 50-50 chance that it could develop, but mainly here we're talking about a rain story for parts of Florida. If it's going to develop, it's got to develop down there, and that's, again, only the next maybe 24, 36 hours, something like that. But all of that moisture is going to get strung along this front that's diving down across the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to actually make it all the way through Florida. Thankfully, maybe we can start that dry season there this weekend across South Florida. But that's going to help to draw up that moisture along the front, all of that warm, moist air, and could be looking for some heavy rainfall Thursday and Friday. But if this front, hopefully, slides far enough to the south into the Florida Straits, then the rain chances are going to come down by Saturday and Sunday across the peninsula.
Does that also mean the storm chances are going to come down as well?
Right. So what you're seeing is that the system is getting wrapped up in the front. Once it gets wrapped up in the front, it's getting influences from the atmosphere, from temperature differences in the atmosphere. Don't expect any tropical development this weekend here.
All right.
So that's the good part of it, but again, 5 to 8 inches possible here across parts of the very southern part of the Florida peninsula. That's the main story from this, is there is the heavy rainfall.
And you're still looking to invest in 92L and Ana.
Ana is moving away from Hawaii. That's good news. And then a 92L, obviously way out here in the northeast Atlantic. This one we were saying could become subtropical, but development chance is pretty low here, though could bring some gale force winds to the Azores this week.
Hurricane specialist Michael Lowry, thank you for that, and thank you for your analysis this hour on the top 5 October hurricanes. We're back with a look at the areas we're watching for severe weather next.
Currently in our area, 72 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 70. Winds light and variable. Chance of rain 80%. Wednesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 84. Chance of rain 60%. Wednesday night, variable clouds with showers and scattered thunderstorms. Low 73. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And good evening, I'm meteorologist Kim Cunningham. Weather caught on camera is coming up in just a second, so sit tight. We want to update you on the weather around the country where we have some active weather right now. Our nor'easter will eventually cause some flooding in Maine, so we're going to watch this area very carefully. We could see 3 to 5 inches of rain through Thursday, maybe even into Friday, early Friday. But right now, it's all starting to take shape. We have some showers and even embedded thunderstorms all the way from West Virginia to the northeast as well. Even a few embedded thunderstorms in there, too. Flash flood warnings up here in parts of western Mass. Already 5 inches of rain has fallen here. Hampton, Hampshire, and also Worcester County under flash flood warning. Please avoid roads that are flooded. Turn around, find a detour. Don't drive through them. Also, west of New York State, look at this big storm. So some thunderstorms here. Also, heavy rain and storms coming into Baltimore with flash flooding right now. Baltimore under a flash flood warning. Again, watch out for flooded roadways. All right, turn around, find a detour if you come across one.
Surprised by a microburst.
Mason, get away from the windows now! I was very scared that we could be injured or even killed.
Gone in seconds.
It looked like a hole in the earth that just developed and everything was flowing into the middle of it.
Saving a wild animal from certain death.
Come on!
A rescue operation goes horribly wrong. Plus, taking an extreme sport into extreme weather.
We are there to break some rules, of course.
Tornadoes.
It's coming right for me.
Tsunamis.
There's a kid under that dog.
It's all up next. on this edition of Weather Caught on Camera.
Yes!
Oh my gosh. Some people have kind of panicked.
A father and son watch a weather phenomenon in their backyard near Phoenix, Arizona. But in an instant, it goes from interesting
Look at all these birds.
to terrifying.
Mason, get away from the windows now! Get away!
With only seconds to react, they rush inside, leaving their dog in the storm. Arizona is known for its hot, dry climate. But from June through August, it's monsoon season. It's August 18th, 2010, at the tail end of peak season.
So this is what they do when storms come.
Greg Tendecki is showing his young son, Mason, a massive bird exodus resulting from hail produced by a developing microburst.
Birds are not happy with that. It's a microburst come in this direction too. I was in the backyard to actually look for storms. I was watching the radar from work during the day. It was speeding up, so I could tell that it was turning into a microburst and not just a regular rain cloud. Holy moly. Oh, yeah, that's one way to put it. Holy crap.
As debris starts flying around their backyard, Greg realizes the storm is far more powerful than he expected.
Initially, I thought it was going to be like any other microburst. Powerful, but fun and manageable. I didn't expect it to be as big as it was and as dangerous as it was.
He also doesn't see that their puppy has run out of the covered patio into harm's way, just as the strongest part of the microburst hits their home.
Come on, go! This way! Come here! Mason, get away from the windows now! Get away! Stay here! You'll be okay.
12-year-old Mason is distraught they have left their dog Marley outside.
I didn't feel like I was in any danger until I saw the poles fly into the air.
The poles he's referring to are seen earlier in the video, neatly stacked. And while the perspective makes them seem smaller, these aluminum poles are about 20 feet long and 12 inches in diameter.
When the wind got its worst, these poles exploded into the air. And at that point, I decided that I needed to get everybody inside. And I had to choose between the dog and my son. And I chose my son. This way! I was very scared that we could be injured or even killed.
Then, in an instant, instinct takes over again.
Hold back.
Greg hands the camera to Mason and goes outside to save their dog. Mason is tormented, waiting for both of them.
To be honest, I was thinking, why did you go out into the storm? Like, why did you do that? There's so much going on. Then basically I was like worried about both him and the dog at the same time, just even more fear stacked on top of each other.
And then they appear at the door.
When he swung open the door, the dog came running in, and then he came running in. I'm like, oh, this relief.
Holy shit, that was huge. Ouch.
But the force of the microburst doesn't let up.
The hail is like an inch thick. Stay away from the windows. That one looks broken already.
When things appear to be slightly less dangerous, Greg goes back outside for one last close-up and personal glimpse. And then goes to the front yard to see that a downed tree just barely missed hitting his truck. And remember the poles? When the storm completely died down, Greg went in search of them, and this is what he found.
We don't see the poles in the video flying because I was panicking and trying to get me and my son inside to a safe place.
Come on, go! This way!
So right now we're in the general location of where the furthest pole flew to. As you can see, it was a very, very long ways away. I did get online and used a measurement tool and estimated it being about 900 feet. Some of them landed up against the wall behind my house. Some of them got caught in the palm trees, and the rest of them were strung out throughout the field.
The best way I can describe a microburst is it's almost like a bomb going off. It's just like this big shock wave just going all around.
Even though several years have passed since their experience with the microburst, it's had a lasting impression.
When I watch the video, it starts making me nervous again. My heart rate goes up, palms get sweaty. Pretty much it's like reliving it all over again.
Now, to an astonishing spectacle in the Midwest.
I was mowing the yard an hour ago.
Norfolk, Nebraska. A thunderstorm catches folks off guard, not only bringing a major downpour with 60-mile-an-hour winds, it turns a town white. But this isn't a winter storm. It's actually spring, and this is a hailstorm.
I've never seen so many hailstones in all my life.
Jason Richard grabs his camera to record the unusual display.
I've never seen anything like this ever before.
As he looks on in amazement with his wife from their front porch, they can barely hear each other talk because the onslaught is so loud.
It's going to be noisy. This is amazing.
Local officials have to use a snowplow to clear the roads in some areas to try to restore things to normal.
Oh my word, just look at that. They just won't stop. I'll be scooping my driveway the same day I mowed my lawn.
This kind of hail on the edge of the thunderstorm was in an area of the thunderstorm where hail could occur for a pretty long time. So that's why it accumulated for a long time period and was small enough that it coated the ground a number of inches deep, almost looking like a snow accumulation.
Never seen anything like this in my life. Guy across the street, he's almost twice my age. He's never seen anything like this before in his life either.
Coming up, a fort disintegrates. And
I prepared myself to get thrown out into the field. Oh God, here we go. This is the tornado.
When weather caught on camera continues.
Wild Weather at 8 continues after the break.
There. Hot stuff.
Not turning the thermostat down.
That's not what I was doing. I was just having fun. Come here. Nice and tight. Atta girl.
Daddy.
Hey, there's a sweet spot. Hold on.
That didn't happen in practice.
There's a better way. Mitsubishi Electric Systems give you the temperature you want in any room with no ductwork and lower energy bills. Mitsubishi Electric Cooling and Heating. Live better. Go to MitsubishiComfort.com.
So I was a head chef at 24. I won Best New Restaurant in the country at 31. I've published cookbooks. I've been on TV. I've relied on people every step of the way. I still do. I have to. So staying connected to those people, that's what makes me feel accomplished. They're people I connect with, that I'd sit at a table with. These are the people that I ride with every day.
It's Monday, a brand new start. Your chance to rise and shine. With CenturyLink as your trusted technology partner, you can do just that. With our visionary cloud infrastructure, global broadband network, and custom communication solutions, your business is more reliable, secure, agile, and with responsive, dedicated support, we help you shine every day of the week. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Okay, Patrick, one more stop. Let's go base, shark, blitz. Base, shark, blitz.
When the game's on the line.
Okay, this is for the game.
The
NFL trusts Duracell Quantum to power their game day communication.
Black 19's hot! Abort! He's keeping it!
Duracell Quantum lasts up to 35% longer than the competition.
7 a.m. on AMHQ.
Let's get you in front of today's weather.
The biggest weather hour anywhere.
What a gorgeous start.
Weekday mornings on the Weather Channel. You're watching Wild Weather at 8.
Now to a shocking scene in Brazil, where a massive port is practically swallowed whole in the blink of an eye. Port Chibatao sits on the powerful Rio Negro River, which feeds into the Amazon. The privately owned port spans almost 11 million square feet. That's about 220 football fields. On October 17th, 2010, the Rio Negro takes back a massive swath of land and all that's sitting on it. The possible cause?
This is what they call a quick clay slide, where essentially you have the same landmass on a rather slight slope, if any at all, and it all just moves.
About 100 shipping containers literally fall into the river in the jaw-dropping and spectacular display.
It looked like a hole in the earth that just developed and everything was flowing into the middle of it. I mean, it looked like the earth was coming to an end. This looks a lot like a sinkhole. But the difference is, this is the same ground, just moving position, as opposed to the ground that's above the sinkhole, just dropping.
Brazilian news media report that a backhoe being used in a construction project triggered the event.
I think what happens is there's already pre-existing instability. In this case, all it does is take a trigger to release that instability in the ground, and basically the whole area just slides. You see this a lot of times by lakesides, by riverbanks. It doesn't have to be a steep slope. The whole land just moves and drops because there's a weakness underneath.
Media also reported that 2 workers disappeared in the collapse. But in a fortunate twist of fate, 25 other workers were saved because the devastating collapse happened at lunchtime when they were away from the site. From one unexpected event in South America to another in North America.
Oh God, it's coming.
A storm chaser is on the hunt when a violent tornado makes an unexpected turn.
Oh God, here we go. This is the tornado. I think about that day all the time. Could have died right there. Oh
God. For over a decade, Houston, Texas-based musician Hank Shima takes a 3-month break from performing to chase what he considers beautiful. Wildlife.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Whoa. And storms.
Oh, there's the wind chill. Bye.
On Friday, April 13th, 2012, he's in Cooperton, Oklahoma.
The storm is so big and black that it's already like nighttime. The only way you're going to get a picture of this storm or of a possible tornado is if you put yourself right in its path.
Oh, there's the tornado.
It's also going to put you in position to be in trouble.
That's a giant tornado, and it might be coming right this way.
Even though it's hard to see, the supercell shows its power.
It's this black silhouette of a ghost tornado, and I'm right in its path.
Hank hits the gas to get away.
And I find a new perch to just watch the storm, and I'm just going to enjoy the show.
All right, here we go again. I'm about to show you the tornado.
I'm driving away from it, and the tornado is following me.
Oh, God, it's coming.
At this point, the tornado is 50 yards away, then 30 yards.
Oh, God, it's coming right on top of me.
Then 20.
Oh, my God, it's right next to me. I'm inside the... Oh, God, here we go. This is the tornado.
I prepared myself to get thrown out into the field. I didn't know if I was going to get rolled into the ditch. In a miracle, the tornado goes right over my car.
Oh, God, here we go. This is the tornado. Oh, God. Oh,
rushing around the cart then. I'm thinking, okay, that wasn't so bad, right? The worst is over.
He takes a moment to catch his breath.
Oh, my God. I'm thinking, surely that's the end of the tornado's life. It was weakening. Turn around. Let's get video of it, see what's left of it.
Through a deluge of rain, Hank realizes he's not out of danger.
Oh, my God. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I don't know what to do.
It grows into a mile-wide killer tornado. And again, is coming right at me.
There's a giant tornado. It's coming right for me. Oh my God, it's a mile long.
It was a nightmare.
Hank can hear the force of the tornado, and despite the darkness, sees its formidable size. The hunter is being hunted.
I couldn't get out of its way. It was almost comical. Every time I moved out of its way, the tornado banged with me.
Hank thought that by driving in a circle, he would avoid the tornado, but that wasn't the case.
What just happened? I don't know what the